Please, just a reminder to turn off your cell phones. We are now joined by UNC Wilmington student athletes Chris Flemings and Craig Ponder and head coach Kevin Keats. Coach Keats, would you please make an opening statement?
Well, I want to start off by saying that I couldn't be more proud of a group of guys that have laid it out on the line for me for 33 games this year. And, you know, we talked about in the locker room, you know, one of the things I said to those guys is, you know, when we leave this locker room, I want you to hold your head up. I know we're all big-time competitors and we all hate to lose, but the effort that these guys have given me all year long is unbelievable. You know, from the time that I took the job a couple years ago to where this program is now, I couldn't be more of a happier coach. You know, give Duke credit. I thought they did a really good job, especially in the second half, handling our pressure. I thought it bothered them, but they didn't turn it over as much. They made some runs that I thought was a difference in the game. You know, I felt like they got a few 50-50 balls that we didn't. I thought they broke the press on a couple miscues, and Plumlee was able to get some easy baskets at the end. But, you know, what a basketball game. Certainly I'm happy with our guys. I thought it was a great basketball game. I was excited to be a part of it.
Okay, now we will have questions for the student athletes. Who has a question? In the back.
Kevin Keats always uncontroversial now, but your guys played really fearless here in the first half. You were just playing another team. You weren't playing Duke. And that seems to be the mindset that your guys went at it.
Well, all year long, you know, we've actually stayed in the moment, and we've never cared about what the name on the front of the jersey was of the opponent. And I give these guys credit. They've stayed focused, and you know, a lot of times when you're playing against a high major team like Duke, or you're playing one of the best teams in the country or more historical programs, you know, they're up 10 before you play the game because your guys are nervous. And, you know, I felt like our guys wasn't. I thought they came to compete, and I thought we did a great job. You know, unfortunately, we just came up a little short.
Okay, we ask at this time you please direct your questions to the student athletes. Questions for the student athletes only.
Both players, Jim Donaldson, Providence Journal, both players. Can you talk about what it meant to you to play against Duke, one of college basketball's great programs, and then to play it as well as you guys did?
Chris, you want to start off?
It definitely means a lot. I mean, they're a great program, great history, defending national champs. So, I mean, it's a great honor to play against them.
Yeah, just to follow up on what Chris said, anytime you have to play the opportunity to play against a historic program, you know, you really cherish the opportunity. And for us to be playing them in an NCAA tournament, you know, it means a whole lot to us.
More questions for these student athletes in front.
Matt Langoni, Lowell's son. Chris, just talk about the challenge of guarding Brandon Ingram. In how you felt that matchup went. You guys both had you know, excellent games, but how do you think the matchup went overall?
He's definitely a great player. Try to take away his tendencies. He was able to counter. So, I mean, take nothing from him at all.
Questions for the student athletes right here.
Julian Bimbo, Boston Globe, either of you guys. When you find yourself playing a solid defensive possession, and then you look back and you see Plumlee sort of with his hand in the air, is that sort of disappointing at all when you know they can just throw it up and still find a line?
Great. Go ahead.
In the way we play in our traps and stuff, you know, sometimes you're going to give that up. So, you know, that happens, and we expect it to happen. So, you know, it's not really discouraging. It's something we expect to happen.
Okay, more questions? Okay, right here.
Jim Donaldson again. If both of you fellows could elaborate just a little bit. You know, Coach mentioned sometimes you look at certain names on the jersey, and some teams could be down, quote, down 10, in a manner of speaking, before the whistle starts. Clearly, you guys were intimidated in the least.
Go ahead, Chris.
It's another game, another opportunity to go out, play as hard as we can. We didn't work hard all season to just give up just because of the name. So that's kind of our team thing. We're going to fight every game no matter who we're playing.
Our motto is pretty much we don't worry about the name on the back of our jerseys, and we don't care about the name on the front of yours. We just try to go out and compete every game.
More questions for the student athletes? Question right here.
Eric Detweiler, Wilmington Star News. Craig, what was that last possession that you guys had like there? You guys had three cracks. I mean, what was the feeling as you're running through chance like that?
We just try to capitalize and try to tip one of those balls, and hopefully it lands in our favor. Unfortunately, it didn't tonight.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Okay, one last question. Please identify yourself again, please. Thank you.
Can you talk about sort of managing the game in the second half, even though you won the bonus pretty early in that half, and still find a way to get the shot down late?
You repeat the question?
Can you talk about managing the second half, even though you were in the bonus pretty early, and then still figuring out a way to make the two-shot game?
Just staying aggressive, not really worrying about whether they're going to get fouls. We're still going to play as hard as we can, regardless if they're in the bonus or not, and just play hard.
Okay, is there anything else for the student athletes? Okay, this will be the last question.
Again, one more sort of a follow-up, Jim Donaldson, Providence Journal, again, both you guys. Any differences, if any, you noticed between playing against an ACC power like Duke and teams who played for CAA? What differences did you notice?
Guys had a little bit more height, a little bit more physical, a little bit more athletic.
Okay, Chris, anything to add?
No, he pretty much got covered it all.
Okay. Okay, thank you. We will now dismiss the student athletes. They can go back to the locker room, and we'll keep Coach here. Thank you.
See you guys.
Okay, now, do we have any questions for Coach Keats? Questions? Right here.
Dana O'Neill with ESPN.com. Kevin, you talked yesterday about, size and the advantage that they would have, their ability to get inside and get to the rim. How difficult was that for you guys just to counter?
Well, I think, Dana, it was difficult on the back end. If you look at Plumlee's number, he did a great job of certainly making free throws tonight. And he also made some dump-offs where he got a lot of dunks, but he didn't really hurt us where they threw the ball inside to him to score. I think what the difference is at the end of the press when they were able to get by us, and most teams that we play don't have a guy where you can throw the ball up and finish, and he did a great job of finishing. And even when we fouled him, I thought he shot a great – let me see what he shot. Yeah, he shot 5 for 6 from the free throw line. I think he's 55% going into the game. And, we were banking on him to miss a few of those.
Do we have more questions for this for Coach Keats?
Eric Detweiler, Star News. Kevin, how did the foul trouble for those big guys change the way you wanted to play? I mean, not used to seeing Dylan at the center spot, and you had to do that late.
Well, it hurts. Anytime you've got a rotation and you've been used to playing some guys in different minutes and different parts of the game, when they get in foul trouble, it certainly takes your routine or your rhythm out a little bit. I thought I thought Duke was aggressive. We play aggressive style of basketball, and certainly you're going to get some of those calls against you. But I thought it hurt us a little bit because we played some guys in spots we normally hadn't had to do all year long.
Question right here.
Jim Donaldson, Providence Journal. Coach, did you say anything special at halftime, anything different than you normally would? The fact you're up 3, not just in an NCAA tournament game, but a game against Duke in the NCAA tournament?
You know what? I just talked about staying the course. I know a lot of people are surprised, but, being up 3 and possibly could have been up 6 at halftime, we expected that. When we entered this game, obviously we have a lot of respect for Coach K and the program that he's built and the players that's on the team. But my guys expected to win the game. When I walked into the locker room at the end of the game, I knew the program was going in the right direction because nobody wanted a moral victory. Those guys were upset because we lost the game. So what I did is I just talked about the same things we talked about in every game that we played, staying the course, playing solid on the defensive end, doing all the right things.
More questions? Jim, follow up.
Jim Donaldson, Providence Journal. A follow-up on that, Coach. I haven't done my research. I'm guessing you have no McDonald's All-Americans on your team. They have 7, I think. How do you play them like that? I mean, in terms of this tournament in general, you see that so often. How do you take what you have, good players, but certainly not that kind of reputation, and hang into the end in a game you very well could have won, given a couple of shots here or there?
Well, you're right. We don't have any McDonald's All-Americans. We do pass a lot of McDonald's when we go home. But no, that's a great question. Listen, it's a lot of parity in basketball these days. And when you build a program on pride and guys working hard, it gives you an opportunity to be in the game. You know, with our guys, I've said this all along, the difference between a high major player and a guy who's at the mid-major level, he may be a couple inches taller. He may be a couple inches, just a little bit faster. But, you know what, these guys, you got to understand, if you ever came to one of our practices, we practice so hard every day. And, they really believe in, you're talking about a team that's a championship team. Obviously we won the regular season, then we went into Baltimore and won a tournament championship against a very good Hofstra team. And so when they entered the game, I didn't have to say much because they believed that we were going to win the game.
We have a question up front.
Matt Langoni, Lowell's son. Coach, what was your approach to guarding Brandon Ingram? He's a 6'9" kid who handles and has a lot of skills not typical for someone that big. What was your approach coming into the game, and how do you feel like you guys, handled yourselves with it?
Well, that's a great question. Brandon's the toughest matchup that we've probably had all year long. What we wanted to do, obviously they do a good job of running a lot of isolation plays for him, posting him up at the free throw line. We try to take his right hand away, and if you look at it, Chris, tried to take a couple charges. Obviously he didn't get them, but we wanted to make him go left, and then once he got in the scoring area, we would come double him. But he's tough. When you cut him off, he does a good job of spinning back. He's long, he can finish, he can shoot the three. He's a tough matchup. And, I thought the guys did a good job on him. I thought that we did the best job we could do on him.
Question right here.
What did that mean to you to see
Please identify
Eric
yourself.
Detweiler with the Wilmington Star News? What did that mean to you to see Craig play that way on this stage, just kind of your history and kind of seeing his career end, him putting his best foot forward?
Well, the question that's a very good question, because I told the guys in the locker room that I was so proud of them. I loved them, but I'm more proud of the fact that they sent Dylan and Craig and Kevin Hickson out on a good note. When you talk about Craig, obviously I know it's been documented. He's a kid that played for me at Hargrave, and I love him like a son. But just to have the opportunity for that kid to leave UNCW as a champion and have a chance to play in the NCAA, it means so much to me. And, he was heartbroken because obviously, as we talked about, he really wanted to win this basketball game to advance.
Okay, we have time for one more question. Anyone? Thank you.
Thanks, guys.